So this morning we have a testimony, and Lisa. So just give Lisa a round of applause, please. That's good for you.
Yeah, it's probably pretty
Talk
good.
into the mic as much as you can.
Okay. Good morning. I'm going to start out early in my childhood. We didn't have God in our homes. My father wouldn't allow it. He had a fierce anger towards God. I'm the fourth of 5 children. My younger brother, Tommy, when he was baptized, we were all baptized as far as my mom can remember. Tommy died as an infant. I don't know if that's the reason for my father's anger, but growing up, we didn't discuss God. You didn't mention it in our home, and I never knew anything. My sister had asked my mom one time why Tommy died, and my mom told her because he was too good for this earth. And so I thought, and I was 2, 3 years old, I don't remember exactly. I thought that I wasn't good. So I worked really hard to be good, to do what I was told and not be a burden or get in the way. Our family was broken apart. We were split apart in many ways, many times. My father was rarely there. At one point, for a couple of years, I lived at other homes with people I didn't know. And I was taken back to my mom's and when I was 9. And my father, my brothers, my sister, we were all there. And there was a big fight with my parents. And the next morning, my brother Teddy and I were told we were going to visit Grandma. Grandma lived in New Jersey. We lived in the state of Washington. So we were taken and dropped off at Grandma's. Every Saturday night, my cousin would come over, spend the night, and Sunday morning we would all walk to church. Now, my cousin, she was younger than me, she would go to Sunday school, but my brother and I weren't allowed. So we would sit in church with my grandmother, and I didn't understand or know anything, so I'd ask my grandmother, and she'd say, "It's not for you, Lisa, you wouldn't understand it." So I thought that I just wasn't good, and I wasn't one of the special people. So when my father remarried, we moved in with him and his wife. But as a teenager, I would spend the night at friends' homes. And like on a Saturday night, Sunday morning, they would go to church. And I was so afraid that they would realize I didn't know anything and I wasn't one of those good people. But nothing happened. We go to church. Everything was fine. So I worked hard. I got a good job. I always had good jobs and did the best I could. And I did well. I always had food. I always had a place to live. And I had a son, and 6 weeks after our son was born, I married his father. And so I worked really hard. And one of the biggest regrets I have is my son hasn't been baptized. He doesn't know God because I never knew him. And I wasn't a good person, so I thought that we didn't belong there. And I think he will find him, and I can guide him. But going on, after our son went to college, my husband became very abusive and very ugly to a point where I had to leave. And so I did. I ran away on my way to the grocery store. So I was in this apartment. I had insomnia really bad. And one night I thought, I'm going to sleep. I need to sleep. So I was drinking rum and NyQuil, and I was taking some pills. I really don't even remember, but I never went to sleep. And so when the sun came up, I was like, well, I guess I have to go to work because I always did what I had to do. And I went down to the car to start the car. It was mid-March, so it was pretty cold out. And coming back in, the whole world was wobbly, and I thought, I can't drive like this. So I called off from work. And I went back down to turn my car off, and the whole world was rocking, and I could see the concrete coming up at my face, and this little bird, a robin, jumped up on the sidewalk. And so I followed the robin, and I stayed a little behind it, and I hopped up the sidewalk. And the sidewalk split. You could go forward, to the left, or to the right. And the bird turned to the right and hopped all the way up to my door and then jumped up on a banister and stared at me. Oh, well, that's curious. So I went inside and started going up the stairs to my apartment, and I didn't feel sick anymore. And I thought to myself, that's like the instant cure. Just call off work and you're not sick. So I was inside sitting on the couch, and I thought, God just walked me home. And I didn't know what to think of it. So I was reading these self-help books, and my mind was full of torment and self-hate all the time. And the self-help books always referred to scripture and verses, and I'd never owned a Bible, so I went out to buy a Bible. I bought a student Bible. So I'm trying to learn that and trying to read these books, and I'm going back and forth. And one Sunday morning, I just said, I need the truth. I just need the truth. So I drove to a church, had a big parking lot. It was easy. And I felt comfortable going in. And I sat down, and I looked up, and it said, I am the way, the truth, the life. And all of me just melted inside. I relaxed so much. It was incredible. So I thought, if I study this stuff really hard, maybe God would think that I'm good, or I'm trying to be good. So I did. I joined a book club with church, and I was trying to read the Bible. It was very difficult to understand the Bible for me. And I was driving home from a business trip one night, and it was close to Christmas. It was December. I don't know how late it was, but it was dark, and I'm stuck in traffic for about an hour listening to a sermon on the radio. And the guy on the radio said, he came for the lost. He came for the poor. He came for the brokenhearted. And I realized that he came here for me, that I am one of those people that he's here for, and that my brother and my sister, he wants us too. I never knew that. I never knew that he liked me as I was, or he wanted me. And I've been so blessed, and I'm so thankful for his word, for written down so that I can learn it, and so that I can call up to him or just to speak to him. I wonder how many other people just don't know that they're welcome to the Lord. I think I couldn't be the only one, but I am so grateful. There are lots of things in the Bible that I've really value, but two I keep close to me. One is, I believe, Romans 2:29. Could be wrong about that, but it says a changed person seeks to please God and not other people. That's the truth that I needed to learn. And the other one was the story of Lot's wife looking back and being turned to a pillar of salt. And I keep that in my mind to just forget about the past. Whatever happened, there weren't my problems that carry on with me. So I don't want to bring them into the good world that the Lord's bringing me into. And that's what brings me here, so that I can continue to learn with other people. And thank you.